SMC Chairman, Head of School, teachers, administration and support staff, parents, and invited guests. Not forgetting all those watching online, good afternoon. It is now time for you all who was not accomplished alone.
Like Henry Kissinger says, a diamond is a chunk of coal that did really well under pressure. From the teachers to the school board to the janitors, we thank you all for the opportunities you strive to give us each and every day.
Welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2021.
Kindly put your mobile phones and systems are also located at the back of the hall. Taking you through today, I am Kush Pandya.
And I am Khalida Patel. We are your MCs this afternoon. We will be cruising with you across this remarkable event as history unfolds itself today. So sit back and enjoy while we celebrate your champions. Members of the audience, we kindly request you all to stand and to please applaud at the end as we now usher in the graduating class of 2021 Year 11s.
Afshin Naushad Anarwali.
Alma Chebet Otieno.
Deborah Chebet Langat.
Decca Sharif Hassan.
Dylan Munesomi.
Francis Martin Agata.
Imogen Claire Fairhy.
Joanne Jada Mora.
Kevin Mwaniki Mwangi.
Kea Jinal Shah.
Krishi Rakesh Shabdya.
Christine Mukiza Okello.
Marwa Farid Abdallah.
Matthew Gathondu Miano.
Maya Priscilla Mariwa.
Muhammad Riyaz Norani.
Natalia Warimo Joroge.
Paul Nzuki Kyoko.
Peter Ryan Dawa.
Pujit Bimalroy Thaka.
Kaiba Habib Kurji. Rasmeet Kaur Gurbugs.
Rukaya Twahir Saeed.
Salwa Twaha Zubedi.
Sophia Mahmood Kasam.
Yusra Ahmed Farah.
And last but not least, Yves Albert Louis Sperenberg.
Up next, we present to you the graduating class of 2020-2021, the year 13s.
Austin Jean Bogu.
Constance Wakeshu Monyai.
Dhruv Bhavin Shah.
Husna Ahmed Farah.
Kamran Sheikh.
Lakveer Singh Sohal.
Naman Bijal Shah.
Paramveer Singh Sandhu.
Piyush Ajay Shah.
Salim Hashim Idi,
Sarah Saeed, Shri Chaitanya Prakash,
Suhail Ahmed Mirza,
Vishan Hiran Shah,
and finally Winter Abebe Gabriohanes. Let's applaud the graduates. Please remain standing and proudly come aboard in singing the Kenyan national anthem with the school band.
And now for the school prayer. Help us, O God, in our work at school. Make us quick to learn all our lessons. Bless us with excellent health and lead us to form good habits. Guide us to become kind, gentle, and noble citizens. Amen.
We shall welcome a few students for the Jain prayer. Dhruv, Kea, Krishi, Naman, and Vishan. You may take your seats.
Class of 2021, are you ready to rumble? I expect cheer, guys. Come on, it's your graduation class. I will ask again, are you ready to rumble? Parents, what about you guys?
I think they are. Hello? It's gone. I think they are ready. Good evening, comrades, esteemed guests, and puny earthlings to this extraordinary graduation here at Oshwal Academy, Mombasa. To start this speech, I googled the perfect graduation speech or the perfect graduation introduction, but you had to pay to read the examples, and I didn't think it was worth it, so I'm just going to hand it over to Khalida.
Oh my God. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today, said Malcolm X. The fireworks begin this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Each certificate is a lighted match, and each of these graduates is a fuse. Rafiqis, you are now less likely to spend your life stuck in your room forever debating on whether to watch Riverdale or Lucifer on Netflix. Either one doesn't hit as much without academic stress.
Despite COVID, we would like to acknowledge the students for the flexibility in shifting between virtual and physical learning. Technology has come a long way since the parents that are here were in school. Talking from experience, we had to come back to redo a math test because we all had the same answers, but the teacher knows best after all. And for a happy ending, we all performed fairly well. Let's applaud the students for their resilience and flexibility.
Who knew we would move from physical lessons to lessons that required the teachers to literally call us to attend? The so-called Wi-Fi issues, I have no power, sir, and miss, my mic is not working, were the #1 excuses to avoid answering questions in class. But we progressed regardless of the obstacles put before us. Learning is definitely inevitable.
As we retreated to school, pimple faces were now luckily covered under masks. However, sadly, the swimming pool is still a ghost zone.
We were forced to stay in these things called bubbles, meters away from each other. Felt like a mini portable jail.
But hey, a lot had changed. At least everyone got to see their peers again.
True. Remembering last year in March, on a normal Friday, we went back home not realizing we wouldn't see each other again until months after. Some students did not even return. So
Check.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am thrilled to present the Oshwal Academy Mombasa's very own chamber orchestra, which made its debut in 2019 with a classical piece, My Favorite Things from the 1965 movie, Sound of Music. This is a group that is a direct product of the Music Peripatetic program that was launched in May 2018 and enlisted quite a number of students to playing musical instruments on a one-on-one basis and our group sessions during the term and in the summer break of 2019. Look out for the summer camp for this year. Details will follow. Happening now on stage is Mr. Charles, who is the orchestra director, tuning in all the instruments and ready for the presentation. Before you, presenting the members of the orchestra, playing the piano is Niva Sumaria, Alicia Sali playing the lead violin, Amara Doshi playing the second violin, Charles Muredi, who will also play the second violin, Junice Awiti playing the tenor saxophone, Iana De Silva playing the auxiliary keys on the keyboard, Michelle Ndanu, who will be playing the percussion, Alfred Gikandi playing the second auxiliary keys on the keyboard, Jelan Munesomi playing the guitar, Romir Doshi and Sophie Mwanyai also playing the guitar. They will now perform an adaptation of Numb by Linkin Park. Give it up for the OM Chamber Orchestra.
That was indeed a phenomenal experience. Can we please give them another round of applause as they exit the hall?
Thank you. Graduates, glancing back 20 years from now, you'll either congratulate yourself or curse yourself for the choices you have made. So toast to the decisions you're going to make and are going to make. Your teachers, family, and friends are overjoyed with this breakthrough, especially because you're now out of the way for your 13th.
Pets and annoying aunties. Graduates, remember, everyone is proud of you, and you should be too. Everyone is honored and delighted to go through this experience with you. It is really heartwarming for them to see us all grow up.
As she sorts herself out, a piece of advice to your 11s. Things will get tough, but the tough need to get going. Remember one, be it at school or life, if something gets really arduous, ask yourself, how hard should this really be?
11s, Karibu to Season 2, Episode 1 of high school. Today, folks, we take this opportunity to treasure these Year 11s and their remarkable academic resistance despite the COVID-19 issues. Even a global pandemic could not stop them. How astonishing. As a class that had to sit an exam for at least 9 subjects after not attending school for around 10 months, it is incredible to acknowledge the little time span this class had to cope with. Can we please appreciate them?
Those 9 or 10 subjects are now equivalent to at least 4 A-level subjects, meaning you'll need to put twice, if not thrice, the amount of effort. As Usain Bolt says, easy is not an option. No days off, never quit. Stabilize your stamina, and sacrifice would be a vital decision towards achieving your career goals. Value it and be fond of the moments while they still last.
Bringing our first speaker on stage, this student has worked really hard over the year and has given Mr. Getty headaches to her questions. However, we must say it was worth the trouble. Having multiple interests in various fields such as arts and maths has not stopped her from achieving her academic goals. Ladies and gentlemen, with her speech named Time Lapse, please applaud as Kaya Shah enters the stage.
Class of 2021, I congratulate you all for being here. It's no mean feat to be thrown headfirst into a global pandemic when you least expected it, and schools shut down, and we found ourselves rolling out of bed and onto our laptops, while frantically trying to cover what was left of the syllabus. And at the same time, finding ways to watch Outer Banks on Netflix. So here's to a time in our lives that we shall never forget. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the elephant out of the room. COVID-19. Nothing will ever be the same. This is not a normal graduation. The new normal has not yet arrived. We shall not be able to hug each other at the end of this event. And for the first time, today's audience is limited in numbers. And on the contrary, a larger audience who normally would not have attended this graduation, like my nanny, who is sitting in her living room in London, is watching us live on YouTube. Hi, Nani. To the teachers of Oshwal Academy, what can I say? The efforts you all have put in the last 12 months to transition us from a brick and mortar school environment to one exclusively online, and then back again to a COVID-regulated school, was equally no mean feat. I shall never forget how some of you woke up at ungodly hours to deliver us 6 a.m. morning lessons. Even more commendable is how Oshwal Academy Mombasa got their VLE platform working within 48 hours of lockdown. Miss Jacqueline and team, my gratitude knows no words. These past 11 years have been a time lapse, laying a strong foundation in my life. The experiences and opportunities have helped shape me into the person I am today. One of the highlights was the School Business Week, which ignited my interest in entrepreneurship and the business world. I founded 2 award-winning businesses, Keynote and Tricycle. Both ventures taught me a lot about running a business, balancing priorities, and managing relationships with my partners, suppliers, and customers. Where else would I have learned this? Do you guys remember the shy and timid Kea of year 7? She would have never made it onto this podium to deliver this speech today. And my interest and participation in the MUN and debate club have helped me become a much more confident speaker and a better communicator. My friends often ask me, what is the secret to top grades and consistent academic achievement? But I can happily tell you, there is no secret. I'm a very normal human being. I procrastinate a lot. I could never follow my revision timetable effectively. I get bored very quickly, and sometimes my anxiety gets the better of me. I even had to delete Netflix from my phone because of how much it distracted me. I do not believe that the grades we achieve are true pictures of our intelligence or our capabilities, and in no way do they predict our future successes. What matters to me is that I attempt everything with the best of my abilities, and so at the end of the day, I can tell myself honestly that I tried. With that, I'd like to leave you with a quote by Michael Jordan. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. But I cannot accept not trying. Thank you.
That was truly energizing. Can we please have another round of applause for her?
Thank you. Members of the audience, you are reminded to wear your masks properly, also the graduates. Next up, we have a student who is somewhat quiet. You wouldn't even know she is in class. But as they say, still waters run deep, so beware. She's the most polite and has a really consistent scholar in her academics. Also an international swimmer with not only physical stamina, but mental stamina as well. Swimming to you with her speech called Life Lessons Learned, we hand over the floor to Krishi Shavdya.
Good afternoon, everyone. There's a famous proverb, it takes a whole village to raise a child. The meaning is that the upbringing of a single child is through the collective efforts of a whole community. For all the graduates present here today, this community comprised of our parents, OAM teachers, administration, support staff, and most importantly, our peers, all of whom I'd like to thank from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Erickson and the students have worked extremely hard and sacrificed despite the unprecedented challenging times. And for that, I commend you all on your will and determination. We always knew this day would come when we would finish our respective exams and graduate, and I know some of you have eagerly anticipated this day. Before we actually walk on the stage, I would like to share with you a few stories and lessons that I've learned at OAM. Now, throughout our years here, we've encountered very many different styles of learning, but the most unexpected one was online teaching. I had I probably should have been paying more attention moment in Mr. Geddes' just after dawn AdMaths class. I didn't even realize I'd zoned out until he called on me and completely threw me off guard. He said, which number has the bigger absolute value, -43 or -25? So I answered correctly, but when asked for an explanation, I was dumbfounded. To my relief, the lesson then ended, and I decided to search up the reasoning online. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, as usual, Google provided me with millions of results, and I ended up clicking on a video that did not help me with AdMaths at all, but instead left me with a statement that resonated with me throughout. It said that absolute value isn't about how far you go, it's about how far you've come. With this statement, I realized that you shouldn't compare yourself to others. You shouldn't measure your own successes with those against you. And instead, if you want to know your own self-worth, you should see and reflect on how far you have come and grown as an individual. That was lesson number 1. Now, a few months later, after our double biology class on a Thursday with Mr. Andrew, once he had explained genetic variation, I came across an intriguing question online. Why is life interesting? After pondering about it for a while, I decided to look at the answer: beauty. This simple word just confused me. So upon reading the explanation that followed, it said that variation in life is what allows it to be interesting. If we had the same flowers, the same birds, the same food, life would be boring. Similarly, we can't all have the same passions, the same goals, the same aspirations, the same dreams to achieve. And instead of criticizing and discriminating against each other, we should embrace these differences, as it's these differences that make life more meaningful, interesting, and worth exploring. If you still doubt me, take the rainbow for example. Yes, individually all the colors are beautifully bright, but together they have a flamboyant impact as they form a stunning spectacle arcing across the sky. That was lesson number 2. Fast forward to January this year and the beginning of what I presume the teachers would coin the time of complaining. I vividly remember the year 11s complaining to many teachers about many topics, but the most striking one would probably be when we were told that literature would be a mandatory subject for our GCSEs. Chaos erupted. We may have only had 16 voices in that one classroom, but for sure, Mr. Mute heard more than that. The bigger picture was that the skills accrued through the critical analysis of poetry, drama, and prose would be transferable to other subjects. Now, I know majority of us shared an opposite school of thought, but honestly, guys, lessons with you made it more bearable. This made me realize that in life there will be tough times, and one just has to persist because tough times don't last forever. Lesson number 3 learned. Regardless of when you initially walked into Oshwal Academy, certainly you're not the same person graduating today. In this period of time, so much has changed, so many memories forged, so many stories written. Everyone's story is unique, worth telling, worth sharing, and worth listening to. Thank you all for letting me share part of my story today, but most importantly, I loved being a part of yours. So thank you, graduating class of 2021, for letting me be a part of your story, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Absolutely touching that was.
Can we please have another round of applause for her? A small reminder for all the graduates, please keep your mask on. Advancing to the year 13s, Oshwal Academy Mombasa has nurtured this student's skill, and through the program, she has fantastically been able to project her talent, bringing music, talent, and rhythm to our ears. As her fingers delightfully run across those white and black keys, we now have Constance with her piano performance on the song Mariage d'Amour by Richard Clayderman. Please applaud as she approaches the piano.
Wow, that was so harmonious. Come on guys, let's appreciate her with more enthusiasm. Thank you. Year 13 graduates, your flight has landed, and you may remove your seatbelts, not your masks, but keep your life jackets on. You are boarding another plane to your career destination. Always remember, all must succeed. Nothing is impossible if you just believe. Your voyage in Oshwal Academy will always be one you splendidly reminisce about.
For the unforgettable memories that you made during your stay at Oshwal, we are proud to say that all of you have marked your territory and have planted a story on campus. Now you are an Oshwal alumni. Everyone, everywhere, is excited to see what you will bring to the world.
The next speaker is Sarah, a confident, beautiful, and all-rounded student. She was not only the sports prefect, but also the captain, if not all Oshwal girls sports team. You can always ask her for help anytime you see her on campus. She has leadership skills that can enable anyone to better themselves. Not to mention, she was also the president of the Interact Club.
With her speech entitled, "A Look Back to Look Forward," we now present Sarah Saeed to the floor.
Check.
Thank you, Khalida and Kush, for that lovely introduction. So a few weeks ago, Miss Urvi approached me and assigned me my hardest assignment this year, to deliver a speech during this auspicious occasion. And a few days later, I can say I have managed to scribble down something. Invited guests, members of teaching, administration and support staff, parents, graduates, good afternoon. I would of course like to begin with a few thank yous. Thank you to every teacher and all members of staff for providing us with guidance and support all these years. And an extra thank you to the teachers who have taught us invaluable life lessons. Thank you to the parents who have ensured we have made it this far and have shown us endless love and support throughout all our endeavors. To the honored guests who have come to celebrate this occasion with us, and of course, to the class of 2021. Well, graduates, we made it. We are graduating at a time when our world is dealing with unprecedented challenges, with the COVID-19 pandemic being at the center of it, but also at a time where there has been a surge in opportunities created by these challenges. And despite all odds, we have still managed to make it through. Seize every opportunity that comes your way before it slips away. Take chances and don't be afraid of making mistakes. You have to fall in order to practice being brave. Remember, the biggest failures in life are the biggest lessons learned. And if opportunity does not present itself, create it yourself. I stand here before you today, looking back on the 17 years of legacy we've all made together, no matter where along our journey you joined us. No other class has ever had the spirit and compassion our class has. Together, we have broken records and we have also broken chairs. Each one of us has contributed to this legacy. We have those who helped set up the many school events and charity fundraisers. A prime example being Lakvir, Suhail, and the rest of the prom committee, who never gave up trying to find the perfect brownie recipe. And the whole time, the answer was right in front of us. Our very own registration teacher. We have those who took over the stage during the school events. You know it's about to be a memorable one when Kamran or Shaurya steps on stage. We even have those who filled the audience and made such school events unforgettable. We appreciate you, Husna, for losing your voice cheering for us. We have leaders, role models, those who entertain their class with their mispronounced words. We have those who walk along the corridors with dazzling smiles and brighten the days of all those around them. Connie, thank you for smiling brighter than Mr. Benedict when he gives us a test. We even have those who are often seen congregating around the corridors who contribute to the dynamism of the school in their own unique way. Fellow graduates, we've had good times. There've also been the not so good times. We've survived Mr. Benedict's bombs, made it past through Mr. Andrew's Wednesday bio exams, and Mr. Agrippa's question papers. Well, here we stand, or sit, my fellow graduates, finding ourselves reminiscing and looking back. We look back at our journey and all the memories we've made so that we can look forward to the new journey and the new memories we are about to create. Ahead of us lie all the years we are yet to experience and make our own. Ahead of us lies all our dreams and hopes. Ahead of us is life itself. As C.S. Lewis says, there are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Graduates, let us go through it boldly, taking risks without any regrets. Today, we will be entering the real world, armed with the vast knowledge we have gained through the years to prepare us for it, like Newton's laws of motion, the Avogadro constant, the stages of respiration, and many more things that we will supposedly use in our daily lives. We are just embarking upon this grand adventure. The decisions we will make each day will steer the course of our journey. We must strive for excellence. We may not succeed at first, but this should not stop us from moving on, from looking forward. Graduates, look around you. These are the people who made our journey worthwhile. The journey that began as we were toddling off to start kindergarten and which ends today. It has been long, seeming endless at some point. But the day which we close this chapter in our lives is finally here. Today is more than a celebration of this chapter closing. It is a day where we mark a milestone in the chapter that awaits us. To end with a quote that has inspired me and hope will inspire you too, by Kerry Washington. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for those splendid words. Guys, just one more round of applause, please.
Welcoming the first valedictorian. The following chap is a mathematician of the school, and he's also a top achiever. He has surprised the exam boards and made them question themselves if they send the correct paper, or rather if they send the mark scheme, scoring a whooping 100 over 100 in more than one maths paper. Not forgetting to mention, he was also top in the world for maths at IGCSE level. He is also very true to his blue striped shirt. Duty comes first, he says, while saluting. Anyway, jokes aside, Beauties and hunks, let's applaud our next Starcast, Naman Shah, while he gracefully approaches the platform in his speech named "The Only Constant is Change."
It's not about the destination, but the journey. This is one quote that I can attest to be certainly true of the class of 2021. We have finally made it, though not how most of us would have expected it to be, but here we are today to celebrate the end of this 13-year-long journey and look towards the new experiences that we'll be embarking on. We would not be here without the exceptional dedication and tireless effort of the Oshwal Academy Mombasa team. In the recent years, most of the staff have gone through arguably the harshest and most radical changes. The switch to online learning and back to physical under COVID regulations. All the staff for going above and beyond to make this change as fluid as possible and to face any challenge. Our teachers. Miss Urvi, all setbacks and challenges, by 5:45 in the morning, memorable experience. To Coach Tom, thank you for making PA 30 in the morning shouting Dawu. Thank you to Mr. Benedict for making the most complicated derivations easier to remember, and Mr. Agrippa for making chemistry exhilarating, with a few explosions here and there. To Miss Mildred, the countless hours working alongside you, going through narratives, descriptives, and summaries have really taught us the importance of practice. And one phrase that none of us would forget, failing to plan is planning to fail. Miss Jacqueline, thank you for being our guiding light, for always finding a way to ease our worries and always pushing us to do our best. To all the teachers, thank you for everything you have done, going above and beyond to solve our problems, to build the sturdiest foundation of our lives. Without the OAM team, we would truly be a rudderless ship. To our parents, thank you for your endless support, whether it's the last-minute packing for PA or the trepidation before results day. Thank you for all your sacrifices, allowing us to be here and to celebrate alongside us today. Our siblings, thank you for being the best role models we can ask for. Whether it's helping with Miss Urvi's homework, going through my debates, or even doing my Gujarati homework, our journey has truly been unique. Our assemblies in the lecture theatre may as well have been performed on Broadway, and our pitches during Business Week must appear on Dragon's Den. This class is filled with people who inspire me on a daily basis, and I'm sure there's a lot we can learn from one another. More importantly, recognize that we are an amalgamation of the people we meet and the experiences we share. We are still discovering our identities and forging who we are, and there will always be something to learn from one another. The past 13 years have prepared us well for the next chapter of our lives. We have experienced it all, from the Mildred missiles, Getty grenades, and Benedict bombs, and the tsunami of a pandemic which came at us. During one of our morning talks with Miss Urvi, I remember her saying, "The only constant is change." Looking back at the past year and a half, this could not be any more true. From the closure of schools early last year, to the rapid transition to online school, and the reopening of physical school right before our finals, this pandemic constantly stretched the limits of our resilience. What these experiences have taught us is that yes, plan ahead, have an end goal in mind, but always be ready to change your route whenever a curveball is thrown your way. Accomplishing the goal is a big thing. However, it's how you deal with the challenges along the way which will determine the outcome. I would like to end with one key lesson I've learned along this incredible journey. With passion and dedication, anything is possible. Thank you.
That was emotionally refreshing. Thank you, teachers.
Moving on the next valedictorian speaker, has not only achieved a lot in academics, but has also captured the hearts of many. His ability to always outperform the expected level of effort in his acting, debating, and collaboration skills is mind-blowing. He was selected twice to represent Oshwal in the debate showcases during the World Scholars Championship Cup back in 2018. Both in regional round in Nairobi and the global round in Barcelona. Emerald would have never won their house activities without this guy. He's also one of the 3 who received a High Achievement Award, Today High School, Tomorrow the World. Please welcome Kamran Sheikh to the stage.
Battling against the clock to defuse Mr. Benedict's bombs, swirling, fizzing liquids in a test tube, wrestling underwater with a rogue pool noodle. You might think I'm describing the plot of some outlandish action movie, huh? No. That's just your average Tuesday at Oshwal Academy, Mombasa, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. After 13 years of great learning, great teaching, and great fun, it's finally time to say goodbye. So, for the last time, my name is Kamran Sheikh, and I welcome you to take a stroll with me down memory lane. First and foremost, it would be a gross injustice for me not to recognize my teachers, who are the lifeblood of this institution. They are the rocks to which we have anchored ourselves to, our mentors to whom we look to for guidance, confidence, with whom we know we can be open. They have walked with me every step of the way and have made me who I am today. As a young, plump boy in year 7, with no interest in debate, it was the lion hearts, Mr. Muya and Miss Mildred, that stoked my passions for public speaking and inspired me with their dedication. Mr. Bakari is like a second father to me, always available to lend an ear and share his wisdom. He nurtured the diplomat in me and brought out my sense of adventure, making our geography trips feel like globe-trotting Indiana Jones escapades. Wherever I went, however, one lesson did stick with me. Manners maketh man. And when it comes to my morals, there is no greater muse than Miss Jacqueline, who epitomizes integrity and professionalism always. From Mr. Mystery, the master of history, to Mr. Mutei, the literature guru, from all my teachers, I have gleaned knowledge, skills, and understanding. And when it comes to chemistry, I will never forget that sodium loses an electron to form an ion, because as Dr. Ouma put it, it's easier to lose one wife than to gain 7. I know I'm not going to be able to mention them all by name, but I want you to know that I am truly thankful for all my teachers. So from the bottom of my heart, I give you all a big, big asante sana. Friends, comrades, classmates, we've had our ups and downs too. Yeah, it's gonna happen. But, and there is a but, We've lived and grown through it all together. And though our time together may be behind us, the memories that we treasure are forever. I fondly remember every single one of our Friday assemblies with larger-than-life characters and bombastic theater performances. Whether it's David figuring out the logistics of using a flaming car tire as a prop in a murder mystery, or Shoria dancing like Michael Jackson reincarnate. Thank you for giving me the chance to be an actor and a director besides you. How about the times when we used to huddle in circles at break time and play Yu-Gi-Oh like trading card moguls? Or the time we used to plan to see the latest Marvel movie, or even figuring out Plasmodez Mara in bio. All these moments have given me a sense of fellowship and belonging. And I'm going to miss them all. Miss you all dearly. In the past, many great men have come and gone. Empires have risen and crumbled to dust. And in the grand scheme of things, history remembers but a few. In the end, it's about legacy. What we choose to leave behind are deeds and words that serve us long after we are gone. So when I leave Oshwal, I hope I have inspired you. I hope I've made you laugh. And I hope you'll remember me through my character and my actions, so that I may live amongst you in spirit. For once, after all these years of familiarity, we will not be returning to Oshwal after the holiday. That time has passed, and our future is uncertain. We shall each be challenged and tested in our own ways. Our courage, our values, our friendships. But we mustn't give in. We mustn't surrender to these hardships. We shall persevere. We must use our wits and our wills to see this journey through to the end. And I know each of us is capable of this and more. Yesterday may be behind us, and today is about celebration. But tomorrow is ours for the taking.
Groundbreaking speech that was. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Kamran Sheikh.
Next, I would like to introduce this very special person with a quote she usually does. Leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by hard effort, which is the price all of us must pay to achieve to any goal that is worthwhile. By saying this, I would like Ms. Jacqueline, the backbone of our school, to address the graduates.
If you hear me recitation, I'm truly honored to be a part of this momentous occasion as we celebrate our 6th graduation ceremony, albeit under very restrictive circumstances. Ordinarily, this place would be packed. Sadly, we are where we are. It is what it is. In 1970, a futurist known as Alvin Toffler, together with his spouse, authored a book. And 2 quotes from that book stand out. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn unlearn and relearn. And change is not merely necessary to life, it is life. These words are especially true in this pandemic era, which literally thrust us into a state we cannot even define and compelled us to act as faster than we probably would have ever thought of acting. We had an idea of what to do when rumors began that there was this very dangerous thing that is affecting the world. But as always, until it gets closer home, you don't really think about it seriously. So the idea was still in the kitchen, and since the virus was still somewhere overseas, we were relaxed. Until one Sunday afternoon, when one announcement changed everything. And to quote what has become a very common saying among educators, we began flying a plane while building it at the same time. Now, it was a very complex and dynamic time. It was a time that required adjustments, innovations, calm direction, despite the pressures and the casualties along the way. It was a very difficult season. It took a lot of resilience and grit for us to be able to navigate the challenges that we faced. But you, our students, who are now graduates today, you boarded the plane, and regardless of the turbulence, you held on. And guess what? Because you held on, and because of the support that we had from the parents, and because of the resilience of the team, we made it this far. You made the flight worthwhile. I salute you for the adaptability. It reminds me of the times we started talking about the IPC personal goals, the IMYC dispositions of adaptability, responsibility, respect, honesty, and all those others. You know, the kind of things you talk about and people think, these are just, curriculum issues. When are we going to need them? But this pandemic has proven that everything that you learn will always serve you at some point in life. Now, in our quest as OAM to create responsible global citizens, according to our vision, we offered platforms for you to participate and develop the attributes and skills that would benefit you and the world around you. I believe that OAM has helped you realize the importance of self-leadership. You talk about online learning. We were not there. Your parents were at work. So it took a sense of self-leadership to be able to accomplish the tasks that were expected of you. And as you worked on your self-leadership, you also learned that it's good to lead others through the advice and the kind of influence that you give. So leadership, as you will learn, achievements. And truly, despite everything that has happened, this have just been the last 2 years. You've been here for over 10 years, 13 years, and for some of you, 17 years. And that which you have brought to OAM has brought the vision, the mission, and the core values of this institution to life. It's because you touched a classmate by your kindness, or you modeled exemplary behavior, or you exhibited a sense of enthusiasm that made others wonder, where are you getting the enthusiasm from? Or you're the one that was the life of the party. Whenever there was a dull moment, whenever you appeared, suddenly there was light in the room. For everything that you did, just remember that you set a mark. None of you was just a statistic. None of you was insignificant. For some, it was in your co-curricular prowess, or the ability to balance it all and achieve all, and at the same time, had lots of fun. So as you've heard, life is not just in one direction. There is so much more to it. Now, our memories with you, regardless of the circumstances, will always be treasured. So whichever path you choose from this point, year 11s, please think and consult carefully, because it will be your journey to travel. And the journey will be peppered with obstacles and failures, opportunities and successes. It will all depend on your perspective. It's therefore important that you keep the right perspective throughout. The whole things will work out for you, or things will seem miserable. And so, success will teach you to appreciate, when you look back, the lessons that you learned, the values of persistence despite the obstacles. And when failure comes knocking, you will do well to remember, as one author known as Ryan Holiday put it, failure is the way that shows us what isn't the way. For others, 17 years. But regardless of the duration you've been at OAM, it's been an amazing journey. You have walked the path. You have run so much that I could talk about your achievements. But I'll just boast the best student in the series, top in the world, sitting right here at Oshwal Academy, Mombasa. This same class has the top in Kenya IGCSE student in accounting, first language English, and English and literature, the subject that many of you loathe. Yet, when the certificate came within the world, as declared in the 2018 World Scholars Cup. So indeed, musicians, we've seen so many that we cannot list here today. So as you leave this place, you have been well prepared, not just well prepared, but armed with the right skills and the dispositions that will serve you very well in the challenges that you're bound to face out there. Because even successes are achieved through challenges. To all the graduates, the achievements at OAM resulted from your taking risks and daring greatly. You did not worry about what critics would say, because that's something that usually holds a lot of you back. You did not worry about the discomfort, but rather focused on the outcome. As a result, you are able to amass a wealth of experience in different fields. Now, for the opportunities that may have been lost, it was a consequence of fear of what friends would say, fear of losing those you cared about because they might find you weird. But guess what? You will do well to remember that that's all now in the past. What matters is what you do from this point forward. The question I ask you is, will you dare greatly? Will you limit yourself? Will you listen to the naysayers who will discourage you that that is not doable? You've got the answer to that. But to help you answer that question, I will use, or rather borrow from the words of Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States of America, in a long quote which I tried to shorten, where he said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. It is the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. Will you dare? Will you cower?" That's the question. On behalf of my seniors, on behalf of my colleagues, I wish you the very best that life has to offer. And as you work on your goals, please remember to live. Do not be so consumed by pursuing your goals to the extent that you forget to live life, to the extent that you forget to have fun with your family, with your friends, and to pursue other interests. As one renowned author puts it, we walk this planet for a very short time. We may look like, we may think that it's an eternity, but it's a very short time. And our lives in the overall scheme of things are just mere blips in the canvas of eternity. So, as you walk this journey, enjoy it and savor the process, circumstances notwithstanding. Whichever path you choose, remember to live. COVID has taught us the value of enjoying and celebrating every day. And with that, from me, your parents, my colleagues, and everyone who's represented but may not necessarily be here, it's a hearty congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations and God bless you. And so, I'd like to welcome my boss, Mr. Kirti Shah, a man of honor, a man who supported us since 2017 when he became the chairman, a man who has made sure that everything that we needed was provided, a man who has served this institution with passion. Welcome, Mr. Kirti Shah.
Can you hear me? Head of school, Jacqueline. The graduates, it's because of you that we've been invited to attend this function today. And so we thank you for that. Now, this is indeed an honor for me. I will say that. I mean, I've done this once before, if I remember rightly, but it is definitely an honor for me. And so about 3 weeks ago, Jacqueline asked me whether I would agree to be the chief guest at the graduating function for the year 11s and the year 13s. And initially I said no. And then I think we looked around for a few more candidates, and it was becoming difficult, partly because of this corona pandemic. So then they came back to me, and I said to myself, why me? What is it? And completely different from what I've just heard from all the various speakers that were on stage. And I'm sure that our members' whole life has been completely different than the lives that we've led. I mean, we are basically to the level of grandparents at the moment. I mean, if I can just go back in my history, my upbringing was completely different from yours. Our education system, completely different. We were on this rote, chalk, talk learning. Teacher would come into class, open page so-and-so of any particular subject, go through that thing, and that's it. Questions really were never welcomed. Teachers never really took time to discuss with students anything. It was never this IPC system that we have in Oshwal Academy, where you take a subject, say for instance water, for that 1 week or for those few days, and you approach that subject from all different faculties, from all different directions, be it geography, be it physics, be it biology, so that a child learning about water learns the various aspects in relation to water. Evaporation is one, geography, where it comes from, stuff like that, dams, boreholes. In our times, it wasn't like that. We had history, we did water today. We would have biology after 2 years or maybe 6 months or something, go back to water from a different perspective. So your education system completely different from ours. And the reason I know is because I've been involved with Oshwal Academy for many, many years. So this is what I was wondering to myself. What is it about me that I can offer which will interest any of you? I mean, I remember our history lesson back in secondary, I think in the year 1968 or something like that. Many of you were not born, I'm sure. And everybody in our class was saying, why are we learning history? Teacher would walk in, today we will talk about the Roman Empire or something, open page 62, and she would start reading from that book. That's it, no discussion. Nobody questions anything, you just keep on. And we were all saying, why are we learning about Roman history? That's something that's going, I mean, I'm talking about 1968, which to you might seem prehistoric, and we were talking about Roman Empire, which to us then was prehistoric. So we were wondering, why are we doing all these things? And there was always grumbling in class. Why? Because the way we were taught, the system of education then, terrible, archaic, nothing energizing at all. And believe you me, today, if I pick up any book, I am fond of reading, chances are 6 out of 10, I'd pick up a history book. I am now in love with history, when we were the ones who were opposing history in those days. My life back then, when we were growing up, no TV. My first TV show was, I think, when I was 14 years old. I sat in my first car when I was 12 years old. Aeroplane travel, 16 years. Overseas travel out of the country at the age of 17. Now, I mean, I'm sure many of you will wonder what sort of a life that was. Am I right? Or you knew about this and this is what you expected? And you knew that when I was going to come on stage, you were wondering, what is this Buddha going to say, with old man going to say? This is our life in those days. So then I asked myself this question. I mean, modern gadgets, computers, mobile phones, smartphones, never heard of those things. We never had calculators in class, nothing. All our maths was done, manually. No help from any sources. So then I was wondering to myself, why is it that I'm asked to come and speak? Why is it that they think there's value which will be useful to the graduates that are present here? So then, it got me thinking that I was able to serve this school, and of the 18 years is what I've served in this school, of which 7 years, including this year, I've been chairman. So if with my background, with my history, how is it possible that we were able to, as Jacqueline very rightfully put it, Alvin Toffler said, that learn and then unlearn and then relearn. So how is that possible? And so it got me thinking, and for the last 2 days, to be honest with you, I've left studying centuries ago, but I have had sleepless nights, couple of nights, and I was just wondering, how is it possible that I've been able to do justice, perhaps, and I hope you'll agree that I've done justice, that I've been able to do justice. And so a few things that came to my mind. One of them was inquisitiveness. Keep learning. Your 70s, in the same way, in 10 years, 20 years from now, you will face same challenges. Technology will have moved forward, education systems will have moved forward, children will know different things which you will wonder why we missed it, or that we never imagined such a thing is possible. So, inquisitiveness. Keep learning. Take this seriously, because for us, there was not much guidance. I mean, I went through my graduation ceremony, I can't even remember who the speaker was, and I can't even remember what his message was. But I wish back then that we'd been told that keep on learning. So there were many years in my life where I forgot to keep learning and got into various habits which I will not discuss. Keep on listening to people. You'll be surprised what you can learn from people. You might think this man's an idiot or that he's wasting my time. There are certain times you will learn quite a lot from him. Then what I felt is charity work. If you serve the community, if you serve on a charitable basis, you learn a lot. And this is what I feel I have learned about education. Because when I served the board of Oshwal Academy, or I served in the education institutes of Lions Club and all the rest of them, what I realized is for free, how they manage a particular issue. There is a problem, how do they manage? What do they talk about? What is their opinion? For free. You get that information for free. That same information, if you were not serving, if I wasn't serving the board, and I asked my colleague, my senior, can you please sit down with me for 1 hour every week, and please tell me how you manage, he'll probably say, get lost, man, I don't have time. But here, I was getting free education. Charity work, service, critically important for you to keep abreast and upgrade yourself constantly. Please, bear that in mind. Then, of course, luck. Luck is a big right time, right place. And there is an example that I've just read, I read a few years ago, about a chap called Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis has written several books on finance and stuff like that, but he himself was a graduate of classic and history and all the rest of it. And he always wanted to be an author, but his teachers kept on telling him, you're useless, you'll never be an author. And one day, he kind of felt despondent. He thought, oh, okay, well, this is not my game. And one day, he just happened to go to a party, and he sat next to this lady whose husband was some MD of a finance house, Solomon Brothers. And she got impressed with what he was saying, and they offered him a job at Solomon Brothers, and he got his what's the word? Incentive. He got the spark from there. This is something that he learned, he enjoyed it, for 3 years he worked at it, and he said, now I'm going to write a book on this, and he's a very successful finance author. So right time, right place, luck. That's critically important. And finally, passion. Follow your passion, whatever it is. In our times, again, everybody, if you look at my siblings or my friends, lawyer, accountant, doctor, pharmacy, my brother's a pharmacy, my older brother's an engineer, I am a chartered accountant. Those were the professions. And today, a lot of those things you can do on internet. I mean, I was talking to a doctor only last week, and he was telling me that the worst doctor that he's a doctor, you'll agree, is Google. So they come to him, to this doctor, filled with knowledge that they've gained from Google, and he is frustrated. So all I'm trying to say is that follow your passion. If you follow your passion, whatever it is, eventually it will come through. It will come through successfully for you, provided you are charitable, provided you are inquisitive, and you have the luck. So this is the little speech that I came prepared with. And finally, I just want to congratulate all the graduates. You've done wonderfully well. We look forward for your greater and greater success, and please remember to keep in touch with Oshwal Academy and form part of our alumni. Thank you very much.
Very incredible words, Mr. Kritik. Thank you for that.
We kindly request Mr. Kirti to remain on stage to present the certificates to the graduating class of 2021, Year 11s.
Parents, teachers, and students, the most sensational moment in this graduation and the class everyone has ultimately been expecting is finally here. The coming students have victoriously and honorably completed their IGCSE level.
Afshin Naushad Anarwali.
A round of applause, please, guys. Alma Chebet Otieno.
Deborah Chebet Langat.
Decca Sharif Hassan.
Dylan Munesomi.
Francis Martin Agata.
Imogen Claire Fahy.
Joanne Jada Mora.
Kevin Waniki Mwangi.
Kea Janal Shah.
Krishi Rakesh Shabda.
Christine Mukiza Okello.
Marwa Farid Abdallah.
Matthew Gathondu Miano.
Maya Priscilla Mariwa.
Muhammad Riaz Norani.
Natalia Warimu Joroge.
Paul Nzuki Kyoko.
Peter Ryan Dawa.
Pujit Bimaroy Thaka.
Kaiba Habib Kurji.
Rahma Muhammad Hamid.
Rasmeet Kaur Gurbaks.
Rukaya Tahir Saeed.
Salwa Twaha Zubedi.
Sophia
Yusra Ahmed Farah.
Berg. Can we please give another round of applause? That's the end of the year 11's grand. Thank you, Mr. Kirti. It was a pleasure. The year 13s. A round of applause, please.
At last, right, the year 13s, we cherish you for your journey here at Oshwal Academy as we bid you farewell to go and change the world for the better. You will be missed. We now present to you the graduating class of 2021 to honorably collect their final prestigious award from the school.
Austin G.
Constance Wakesho Monyai will be reading Medical Sciences at Oxford Brookes University in the United Kingdom.
Dhruv Bhavin Shah will be reading Economics at the University of Waterloo, Canada.
Husna Ahmed Farah will be reading law at Strathmore University in Kenya. Lakhvir Singh Sohal will be reading data science at the University of Michigan in the United States.
Naman Bijal Shah will be reading Mechanical Engineering at Imperial College in the United Kingdom.
Paramveer Singh Sandhu will be taking a gap year before proceeding to business administration.
Piyush Ajay Shah will be reading Bachelor of Commerce at the University of Nairobi in Kenya.
Salim Hashim Idi will be taking a gap year before reading computer science at university.
Sarah Saeed will be reading Biomedical Sciences at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom.
Shaurya Dripta Sarkar will be reading Financial Management at the University of Waterloo in Canada.
Sri Chaitanya Prakash will be reading Computer Science at the University of British Columbia in Canada.
Suhail Ahmed Mirza will be taking a gap year before proceeding to do a course in economics.
Vishan Hiren Shah will be reading Law at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom.
And lastly, Winter Abebe Gabriohannes will be taking a gap year before proceeding to do business management in Canada.
Can we give one last round of applause to all of the graduates seated here today?
Year 13 graduates, we request you to remain standing for Ms. Jacqueline's hurrah.
Please applaud as she approaches the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates, a big round of applause to the Year 11 who are now graduates. Please, a big round of applause. Thank you. I'm really grateful to God that we had the opportunity to have this in person. It's given us a chance to see your faces once again before August the 10th or 11th, and before the final goodbyes when some of you will be leaving the country or relocating to other parts of Kenya. And now, by the powers vested in me, by the Oshwal Education and Relief Board, the School Management Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of 2021, Year 13, who are now free to join the citizenship of the world. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Woo!
And where I come from, We are very good at ululating, so I'll give one more ululation. Well done, well done. Welcome to the real world. God bless you. Go forth, go and conquer, surmount all those obstacles, show the world what Oshwal has prepared you for. We are all so proud of you. Asante sana, barikiwa, God bless.
What a lovely ending to the year 13s. Now we have a special gallery presentation for you. These students will no longer be with us anymore. However, their tales and stories forever remain and carved through these Oshwal walls and the people at Oshwal and their minds.
Year 13s, it's okay to tear up a little bit.
Good luck to every graduate seated here today, and may the future have the best regards for all of you. Before the final speech, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you to preserve all COVID-19 measures, including social distancing, when exiting the hall. Ensure your mask is on at all times, and please, please avoid any gatherings. Your pictures and selfies can be taken when you're home. It is now sadly our time to say goodbye to the mics. We thank you for letting us be your hosts for this evening. We wish you all the very best.
Not yet. Finally, presenting to you the last speaker who has always been in the spirit of each and every student. She cracks up the most epic jokes during class, and her charm never seems to fade away. This teacher can uplift your mood anytime and anywhere you're on campus. Giving a final vote of thanks to ending this ceremony, put your hands together for a teacher that is way better than your home tutor and the best English teacher in town, of course, Miss Mildred Aseo.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I regard this as an honor and privilege to extend a vote of thanks on this occasion. Feeling gratitude, expressing it, is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Our deepest appreciation to the Oshwal Education and Relief Board, OERB, for their prompt response and marshalling of the fundamental resources to ensure a seamless transition from in-person to online learning platform when the pandemic struck. Thank you. Our heartfelt gratitude to the School Management Committee of Mombasa, headed by Mr. Kirti Shah, for your continuous and dedicated support in ensuring that the school programs run flawlessly. To capture it effectively, you're always a phone call away. On behalf of the school, I wish to pass our gratitude to the chief guest, Mr. Kirti Shah, the chairman of the School Management Committee, for taking his precious time out of his busy schedule and consenting to honor this occasion. Mr. Kirti, your leadership skills are beyond reproach. You asked why you? I will tell you why. Mr. Kirti, you're firm yet friendly, strategic yet hands-on, always inspiring growth. Thank you. Ms. Jacqueline Aminga, head of school, thank you for your meticulousness and inspiration, always leading from the front. The weekly newsletters, when we resumed in-person learning in January, constantly keeping parents updated and informed. Your dedication to eye for details. And Mr. Eric Ouma, administration's enough for the involvement and willingness you have shown to take on tasks beyond your comfort zones. Joy of any teacher is to see their students excel in administration staff and the support staff, even when life became difficult and complicated as a result of the pandemic. You have proven that success is possible even under the most words anchoring the afternoon. You have steered the occasion to a success of gratitude to the service provider, BingLink Ventures. Today is your day's achievement. You endured, and now you have emerged. You have emerged better read than when you joined OAM. You have emerged as persons you were meant to be, whole and complete by the grace of God. Go ye. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. It has been a great pleasure. As we finish, I would like to remind all to continue adhering to the Ministry of Health guidelines on COVID-19 while on campus and even out. Stay safe. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.